know more and more about each other, not only in football but in our personal lives too. And that's what's so important to me in coaching and playing is the relationships that you have and the connecting that you have. Because I think that's important to team chemistry and and what you're becoming as a team, and two, that's why we get into this, right? So we can continue to be on a team, and we can continue to have those relationships that come from the ups and downs of a season.
We also saw a video of you jumping on a bench and screaming some things towards the fans. There's been some reaction to that. Looking back at it, is that how you want to handle those types of victories, considering the emotion that was involved in it?
You know what? It is an emotional game. I was yelling towards our fans. With the way, and you probably saw that I was brought to tears too when I was coming off the field there. So I've always kind of been emotional. That doesn't mean that, too much of anything is not a good thing, right? And so, me yelling to our fans after the game, whether I'm yelling to them after an Indy game or if I'm thanking them after the Houston game or the Arizona game, I just think that's something too. These people, the people that went to the game and that are Eagles fans that are traveling to the game, I can show my appreciation toward them on that. Now, sometimes it's, hey, I know everyone saw what I said this game, but the last couple games were, hey, thanks so much. You guys made this happen. And so, sometimes it's fun to celebrate with the fans, but it is also that it's after the game, and when I don't have anything else to do but shake hands on the other side, and not during the game. Now, do I sometimes get emotional during the game? Of course, but I always want to limit that, and obviously I don't ever want to do that emotionally with a fan during a game.
Is there any guy on the staff that you sort of trust to sort of check you in case you're getting too emotional?
I got a lot of good guys over there to do that. Ted makes sure I'm back, but Ted Rath makes sure I'm back. But you can see he's pretty emotional with what he does. Kevin. There was a video that someone sent me yesterday of because Kevin's supposed to be the calm one that calms me down too. But there was a video yesterday of us scoring that touchdown. Look at Nick Sirianni's reaction to when Quez scores a touchdown. And it's Kevin, because we kind of look alike, and it's him going crazy. So he didn't help me out there, and Dom's good at making sure I stay calm.
Hey, Nick, Jalen and AJ's relationship's pretty well documented. I'm curious what it looks like during the week, what stands out about it, and is there any way where it's sort of you see it's beneficial for the whole collective?
Yeah, it's anytime they sit right there, they sit right where Zach, right where they're sitting right there, right, and they talk at times, and it's they argue at times. They're really close. It's really cool, and anytime the relationships of players, is a strong bond, that's only going to help you as a team. And again, that's what we go back to. That's the great part of being a team. I think about my best friends growing up and the high school friend. We still talk about our football, some things that happen in football practice or this and that, and we cherish those times. And that's probably why myself and my other best friend, his name's Tommy Langworthy. He's coaching still. He just lost in the regional final with all the snow in Buffalo. He had to play it on Monday. But what I get to it is that we have all the we love football and stayed in football because of those relationships, and those guys will have that relationship forever too, and they're getting to play together. I think it's really special, the relationship they have now. Tommy Langworthy and I will tell you that we've gotten into some major arguments, right, and some major fights, and because that's part of it too, right? And they don't get like that quite as much, but there's arguing going on as well. But it's because they love each other, and it's because they both want to succeed for each other, for themselves and for the team, but for each other. And I think you've heard AJ talk about that, and I think that's a special thing. I want to, I got my hurt season hat from AJ, it's pretty special.
What would the arguing be over?
Oh, shoot. They're anything. It could be anything, but it's all for the greater good of the team.
Nick, the only times we really see you, the only times we really see you get emotional is, I guess, immediately after games. I mean, you talk about even keel and staying focused and all that during the week, locker room, on the field after a game. Do you have a sense of, like, how your players appreciate that and what it means to them to see you like that and to show that side of you?
Yeah, I think just the thing that I want my players to see is that I'm always trying to just be myself and not trying to hide who I am. Because I think if you try to hide who you are, you're not gonna. They'll see through that. They're smart. They'll see through that. And so, yeah, me showing my emotion after a game, I think is, as long as I'm under control, right, is completely appropriate. Yeah, and I'm okay that players see how I feel after a game, and I don't hide in here. I don't hide from them in here, and they know what I feel after. When I review the tape with them on a particular play or a particular series of plays. So, yeah, that's just getting to know each other, everybody, and letting them see, not just the football side of you, but all sides of you.
There's a playful moment on the radio show calling for Gannon to be assistant coach of the year. But why was it important for you to stand up for him?
I think someone told me the last poll question. I didn't like that last poll question. And really, nobody makes that decision but me. So, anyway, I stuck up for him because I believe in Jonathan Gannon, right? And so I appreciate you asking this question. I believe in Jonathan Gannon. He's a great football coach, and you've continued to see the defenses get better and better and better as he's been here. And I get it. We all get it. Like, we get it. We're in a week-to-week league when it comes to some of these things, right? And we know that after a bad performance, they're going to be calling for us. And after a good performance, right, whatever. And so we understand the waves of the season. I just thought it was important, too. Like, one, I believe in him, and I wanted him. He knows that. I tell him that all the time. But after just such a great defensive performance, and it's been the great defensive performance throughout the year, and a lot, like, think about where we are and all the major statistical things and the turnovers and the explosive plays and all I really care about statistically are turnovers, explosive plays, and points, and we're doing a really good job in all those things. And so I just have so much faith in him. I have so much faith in his staff. I have so much faith in those players that they play for him. And I just think he's a special coach. And I'd love for him to be here the entire time I'm the head coach here. But I know I know that's probably not reality. But I love Jonathan Gannon, how he coaches, how just who he is as a person, and I'm so glad he's our defensive coordinator. Thanks, Zach.
How is Jordan Davis progressing, and how can you see that rotation shaping up?
Yeah, we don't have to make that decision yet. So, but you think about it, but we got to think about what we got to do this week, right? And there's a time to think about, what the rotation is going to be like. Like, it's never going to be a bad thing that we got a good rotation at defensive line. I know sometimes as an offensive coach, and I don't remember if I said this, but like to the media here, but when you see a team's not very deep on the defensive line, you can say to yourself, we're going to wear them down. We're going to wear them down. Our offensive line is going to lean on them. We're going to go fast. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to make this, right? But when you have a deep defensive line and the wave keeps coming at you and coming at you and coming at you, that's great. So, when Jordan gets back, that'll be great because we get another player a great player into our mix. He's doing good. He's progressing nicely. I will never put a timetable on him, but he's working hard to get himself back.
Nick, Lane Johnson was your organization's nominee for the Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award. What does that say about him as a player, competitor, or even as a person?
Yeah, I think it says exactly all those things, all the above, that he's what type of player he is, what type of person he is, and that he's top notch, right? And a competitor, he's top notch. One of my favorite things is when Lane comes off after a big drive and he's got this big smile on his face and he high fives me. Like, you could just feel Lane's presence right there, and I look forward to that. Like, I want to score more touchdowns than anything, right? But one of the products of that is I get to see Lane, who's not on field goal team. I see him first. He's right there. We're high-fiving, and that's awesome. And he's a captain on this team, as you know. It just speaks so much to who Lane is, and not only the best tackle in this game, but also just a phenomenal leader, phenomenal teammate, phenomenal person.
A year ago, he took his sabbatical. How have you seen him evolve and grow in the year since he left to deal with mental health struggles?
Yeah, awesome that he took the time to do that, and is I think that's really special of Lane too. That not only did he take his time to get himself where he needed to be, but also uses his platform to help other people. Like, that speaks to who Lane is too, right? And so, he wants to use what he went through to help other people. That when you have someone do that, I mean, I appreciate you asking that question, because I love bragging on our guys. That's just really special.
All right.
All right.
Lockers open.